Hi, welcome to the general reading for September 24th. I wanted to go ahead and acknowledge that tonight is a full moon, okay? So that's kind of exciting for those of you who follow that. This past weekend, we celebrated the autumn equinox, and so we're officially in autumn for those of you that are watching in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere, you're gonna go back into spring. So I'm happy both ways because I love autumn, and I know that I actually love spring too, but autumn's my favorite. Anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that it is like perfect degrees outside today, so I went ahead and I have my windows open, and I can hear like a neighbor's dog barking a little bit, but it's not distracting me at all. If it's distracting you, I am so sorry. Just leave me a comment and I'll just not leave the windows open anymore, okay? I just love the fresh air, and I'm just really excited about it. So this general reading is going to be a pick a card reading. So if you want to go ahead and start out, you're going to be picking 1, 2, or 3, okay? So just kind of focus on which one to pick. And I'll go ahead and say that 1 is orange, okay? Let's do autumn colors. 2 is yellow, okay? And 3 is red, okay? So you can either do 1, 2, 3 or orange, yellow, red. And as you're thinking about that, I do want to say that I really appreciate your comments and your feedback, and you know, every single time that I get another like or subscribe, I mean, you'd probably think that I was like silly because like I celebrate it. I'm like, oh yay, you know, I mean, I celebrate every single one of you guys. So I just want to let you know that I really, really appreciate it. And it also lets me know that I'm like doing something that is valuable to you guys. And I also want to say, you know, I do general readings on this channel. You know, I want to put out some free content, okay? But I can't really go into depth for each and every one of you. And if you do want me to go into depth, I do offer private readings. It's in the description below. You can also go to my About Me on my channel, and you can read more about it. But basically, all you have to do is email me, okay? And we can set something up for you. I'm trying to just think if there's anything else I need to include with this intro, and I can't think of anything except for thanks for watching. Alright guys, we are going to be working with this Lo Scarabeo Tarot today, and I'm going to pull 3 cards for each pile, okay? Alright. Okay. Alright. Got the tarot. We're going to be doing, my goodness, I don't remember what this deck's called. It's a Dorian Virtue, and it's a crystal oracle deck, okay? I'm going to be picking 1 for each. Okay, let's see. Right, I was complimented on this deck because I used it, I believe, last week for last week's general, and I got a couple of compliments like, ooh, I like that deck. And we're going to be using the very projective Oracle of Visions. Okay, this is an interesting deck because it doesn't have a specific way of interpreting the cards, you know? There's like the vision that the creator of this deck had, but it's like projective in that, like a projective test in psychodynamic theory, for example, is an ink blot test. It's like you look at it and like whatever you see, that's what you're supposed to talk about. I really love this deck because it really plays off of those who are led by intuition. I'm very much led by intuition, and I love symbols and all of that good stuff. So when I use this deck, I always get really, really accurate readings. So we've got number 1, orange, number 2, yellow, and number 3, red. And if you need, sorry, that squeaking is just me moving in my chair. I apologize. Okay, so if you need more time to figure out which deck that you want to pick, go ahead and pause it right now. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and start with the number 1, which is orange. Okay, those of you who picked orange, let's go ahead and look at the tarot first. Okay, you've got the 7 of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Knave of Pentacles. Okay, so feeling kind of reckless this week. There's a lot of reckless energy. Just be careful when you run into action, you know, when you're about to do something. Just make sure that you're careful. I mean, when I say reckless, I mean like you might hurt yourself, like a minor injury. You know, but I mean, it doesn't look, it looks like you're having fun, you know, but yeah, you've got some reckless energy going on. And then, you've got the Knave of Pentacles. The Knave of Pentacles, you know, it's above the 10 of Pentacles, you know, so it's out of that cycle of like kind of struggling. So I don't get that you're struggling with money this week or anything like that, but I do get that you might have a little bit of a kind of like a impulse to buy something. Just make sure it's something that, you know, you really, really want, you know, or that has a good return policy, because it doesn't look like you'll necessarily change your mind or anything. It's so impulsive, and to me, like, I just don't allow myself to make impulsive decisions, so I'm probably just thinking from my perspective, but yeah, I mean, you'll want to buy something kind of on a whim, kind of an impulse to buy something, and I'm not getting that it's gonna like mess you up financially or anything. It's just that you know, just be careful and make sure that you plan ahead with that. And then here you have the very terrifying in this deck, King of Swords. The King of Swords is the master of thought. This guy knows not only how powerful thought is and how like everything that you put out there, like whether you're doing that self-talk inside of yourself or you're talking to other people and you're sharing your thoughts with other people, that everything that you put out there is going to affect all sorts of different things. He also knows that it's not just about thoughts. There's also the heart to take in mind. This guy is going to be like, he's very decisive. And he's, you know, he won't be quick to judge, but when he does reach his conclusions, it's like, bam, he knows exactly where he stands. So this could either talk to you, and I'm getting for about half of you, this is going to just represent you. You're going to be making really, really good decisions. Your thoughts are going to be clear. You're going to have, so like if you're a writer or if you're somebody who needs to have like really excellent communication for your job, now's the time. Like this week is going to be really great for that kind of thing. If you're going to like give a speech, if you're a teacher, that kind of thing, anything that involves communication or clarity of mind, you're going to be in that place. So take advantage of that. And then for the other half of you, I think this is a person that is just there to like kind of give the voice of reason to you. Not that you're unreasonable, but just this is going to be a person in your life that's going to come to you and talk to you. I always think of the King of Swords as a father figure, so I think that this person might show up like that, but this can speak to a male or a female. This person's either going to be your age or maybe a little bit older than you, though. I do feel like it's older than my viewers. So, you know, kind of keep that in mind. Okay. And then for the, oh wow, Oracle of Visions. This is a really interesting one. Ooh, I love this. This is like waiting, okay? So like in this card, this person's waiting. They're waiting for a message, they're waiting for love, they're waiting for maybe the phone to ring, and it's like just past midnight. It's like at the very last moment is when you're going to hear from somebody. So if you're waiting a message, just know that it's going to be delayed a little bit. If you're waiting to hear back from somebody, like a company, or like maybe you like I don't know, maybe you sent out a contract and you need somebody to sign it and get it back to you. Just know it's going to take a little bit longer than you expected. If this is about a romantic interest, know that this is like, yes, you will get communication. It'll just take a little bit longer than you expect. And I don't get a lot of sadness or anything. Since the moon's in here, I do want to mention that when the moon shows up, you know, I mean, it's full, okay? So and we're going to have a full moon today, okay? So, I mean, there could just be that, just confirming this is the right card for you guys. But the moon can sometimes show up when there's secrets. So a secret might be revealed to you as well. So if you're like in the process of investigating something or trying to figure out the truth about something, there's going to be a secret that will come about that you'll learn about. But it's not anything like really, like nothing that you're super attached to. This would be something like, you know, I wonder about, you know, like some piece of trivia, something like that, you know. And the other only thing that I need to mention about this is going to be kind of like a lonely wait. This is like a one-on-one communication. This isn't about like a group of people or anything. So this is like something that you're doing by yourself. This is something that and again, it's, I mean, the main message here is delays, but there is going to be communication. All right. And oh boy, you guys are going to hear me butcher a word. You got Larimar. That's the way I believe to pronounce it. It's Larimar. Sensitive emotions. You're going to be feeling, you might be feeling a little moody. You might be feeling like really, like when you go out, like empaths, for example, they'll go out in public and it's like they'll just feel overwhelmed and like kind of scattered in their minds and stuff like that. When you feel that way, it can cloud your judgment. So it's good that you've got this balancing out, but like your sensitivity is going to be way up. So on the one hand, you're going to be able to be so much more receptive to other people. You're going to be so much more like aware of what's going on inside of you and like all of those dynamics, you know, and a lot of psychic energy, that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, you know, it's also going to be like, you know, it's going to be like a call to be a little bit more gentle on yourself and take some time to self-care because, you know, when we get really, really sensitive about things, there's nothing wrong with sensitivity. The counter to sensitivity is insensitivity, and I don't think many people want to be that. But yeah, I mean, just know that you might find yourself responding a little bit sensitively to a certain, like a subject or something like that. Just know to take a deep breath and kind of step back. Just try your hardest to just step back and know that you'll feel better about whatever happens in that situation if you step back and you kind of like evaluate, okay, what's going on in my head, what's going on in my heart, why am I having this response, and then you respond to it instead of react to it. So that's generally what your week's going to be like. Hi, group 2, the people who picked yellow. All right, so we've got 3 tarot cards. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh, you are gonna have a great week. You've got the Star, you've got the Lovers, and you've got the Hierophant. 3 major arcana cards. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to be having like such a major like week. I'm not getting like a whole bunch of changes or anything. I'm just getting that like a lot of cool stuff is going to be going down. Like really, oh my goodness. So like the Star, it's about being vulnerable without feeling like, like the way that I think about it is like the Star is like, okay, so you've got this woman and she's like she's, you know, she's not wearing any clothes, so she's vulnerable, but she doesn't care, you know, right? So it's just like you're willing to get vulnerable with somebody or something or in a situation, but it's okay because you have this hope, you've got this like direction in your life that's letting you know that that's okay. Like it's okay to be, like your real self, totally raw and totally vulnerable and that kind of stuff. The Lovers, I mean, come on, this can't come up in a spread and not have to do with relationships. So you'll find that there's going to be some dynamics going on between you and someone that you're interested in, or between you and your partner. This week, that's going to be really, really positive. Okay, really, really positive. And you'll find that it's like another thing about the Lovers card in this particular deck is it's also like really feels balanced. So it's not only going to be good for your relationship, but it also feels like balanced, very natural. You know, it's got just a right enough of like just the right amount of every like all the little nuances that you like in that relationship. So that's great. And then the Hierophant. Okay, so the Hierophant usually represents like a teacher. It can represent like a minister or a someone at church or at like a religious figure. And it can also just represent like your higher self and guidance. But what the Hierophant shows is that you're learning stuff. So you're going to continue to learn more and more things. You still have something more to learn, but it's not like in a threatening way or anything. It's not like, oh, you better learn this thing. It's not like, oh, major life lesson. It's not like that. It's more like, you know, you're going to be given more knowledge this week. So like, I don't even know how I could have had a more perfect reading with these cards. Let's see what the Oracle of Vision says. Okay. Oh my goodness. So this is a divine timing card, okay? So you are right where you need to be. I mean, like seriously, you're right where you need to be. There's really nothing more to say about this other than like there's some meditation going on here. And there's some like kind of lounging around. So make sure that you take care of yourself and you're getting your me time in and all of that good stuff. But I mean, yeah, this is great. Meditation in case the numbers mean something to you. This is the 3 card. So that might mean something to you. And then there's also like animals in this but they're not like threatening animals. They're animals and it's kind of like playful. You're fine with it. So it's also like talking a little bit about nature, but this is much more to do with divine timing and then like, you know, just meditation and getting in touch with yourself. So if you've been waiting for something to happen, this week's gonna be a week where like you're gonna get some activity. All right, and then we've got Aquamarine. I think this actually came up last week. So for those of you who watched the general last week and picked this one again, this is just a big theme in your life. Okay, sometimes it lasts around for a week, and sometimes it lasts, you know, for a few weeks. So Aquamarine's coming back up. This is talking about your divine life purpose. You've got divine timing. You've got all of these major arcana cards. You've got like big things going on in your life right now, but they're all positive. They're not like, I'm not getting a negative feeling at all from any of this stuff. I mean, like there might be like a pressure to learn, you know, or there might be like anxiety over missing information, but like that's about all I can say. Really, I mean, it's like, it's all very nice. You know, if you're afraid of butterflies, for example, or birds, or fish, you might have issues with that. I mean, like, I'm really reaching here, right? So Aquamarine, divine life purpose. Trust the signs and your inner guidance, which are leading you to fulfillment. So, again, you've just got a lot of like intuition going on. You've got a lot of guidance going on. You know, when you talk about divine life purpose and you add what could be a religious leader in there, you've got, I mean, that matches very, very well. Although I know for a lot of you, that divine life purpose, you know, only you can know that. And even a minister or a religious figure can't tell you that. You have to figure it out for yourself. So I mean, this is all so good. I don't even think that there's anything more that I should say about it, because really, you're right where you need to be. I mean, everything is so positive right now for you. And if it's not positive for you right now, and you're like, okay, this is weird, something's gonna really get kicked up this week, and like, you're gonna feel just really blessed. Just really, really blessed, because it's just gonna be a great week. All right? Hi, number threes. Those of you who picked the red. Right. So let's go ahead and look at the tarot cards first, and then we'll look at the other ones. Okay, so we have the Emperor and the Empress. And we've got the Tower. Oh, how interesting. So you guys got 3 major arcana cards. I've got to say, the Emperor and the Empress are a pair, okay? They're looking at each other even, the Empress talks about, it's actually kind of providential that this would come up right now, because it's associated with like the autumn harvest, and it just turned into autumn in the northern hemisphere. But it's like abundance and manifestation, like manifesting, but like it's things coming to fruition. Like, you've done the manifestation, now things are going to come. It can denote that someone's pregnant, or either like will get pregnant soon, or they're pregnant, or they're going to have a baby. So I do want to mention that, but I don't do medical, so I can't say anything more than that. And then the Emperor, is just basically the partner, okay? In the traditional tarot, I mean, this is a traditional tarot deck, though. In tarot, the Empress and the Emperor tend to stand for mother and father. So it could be referring to your parents. Maybe you'll have some issues around your parents this week, or it could again mean that you're going to have issues as parents. Or it could just mean that you're going to pair up with somebody that's like your perfect match. So just kind of keep that in mind for this week. You've got like both masculine and feminine energy too. So it's important to know that. The Emperor, I didn't talk as much about. He's kind of like the disciplinary. He's the voice of authority. He has, he exerts power, and then you've got the Empress, which is basically the yin to his yang, okay? She's like yielding, she's giving, she's nurturing, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's, like I said, very balanced and all of that. Now, what's concerning me is that I've got the Tower here, and most people don't want to get the Tower card, right? But something that I just find so amazing about the whole Fool's journey through the major arcana is that when the Fool gets to the Tower, okay, and I'll just go ahead and say, like, the idea is that the Fool starts out, and he goes through, for example, he goes through, first the Magician, where he's like, he manifests himself into life, and then he's got the intuition with the, I'm sorry, I'm blanking, the High Priestess, and then he starts interacting with his mother and father, and it goes on and on and on, right? So there's like a story that's told. When the Fool gets to the Tower card, what's happened is that he's built up a wall around himself because he doesn't want to be perceived, or he wants to be perceived as somebody who's stronger than he is, maybe. He's maybe kind of like hiding part of himself. So when I think about the journey through the major arcana from that perspective, it's like you might need to like let down your guard and, expose yourself a little bit more, I'm not talking about like illegal exposure, but I mean, maybe be more forthcoming. But of course, the Tower card is also talking about just like the destruction of something that's just not serving you anymore. And it's like, get ready, we're about to build back up again. We're going to build something new. So a lot of people, like I said, don't like getting the Tower, but I think that it's kind of an interesting card, right? Because you've got like being authentic and letting down your guard and all of that kind of stuff. Which always leads to more truth. And then you've also got like, ooh, something new's coming, since these two cards are really positive, I don't think this is going to be as impactful as, say, like the destruction of something that you really, really, really care about. I'm getting that it's more like the destruction of something that you really just need to get rid of in your life. Okay, so that's what I'm getting there. Next card we're gonna do is the Vision card. Okay, I actually, it seems like this card came up in a reading recently for me. Here's a person who's got something to say. She's got something to say. And seriously, I just remembered this card did come up in a reading. I believe it was last general reading. So I do want to say that I get different things from these cards every single time I look at them. So what I'm getting now might be different from what I got then. Just know that that's the way intuition works for me, okay? So here's somebody who wants to say something. It's like some kind of romantic gesture, but she's also... like she's grieving something, like there's something like came to an end. So like, for example, and I'm just giving this an example, I'm not saying this is what you're going through, but for example, it might be somebody being like, okay, I need to end this relationship because I want to be in a new relationship with this other person, right? So they're grieving the old relationship ending while also like looking to give a positive romantic message. And then there's also geese in this, and that won't change from last week. And that geese mean to me that there could be some confusion going on right now. Just know that whatever you have to say, it's either romantic in nature, or it has to do with love, it has to do with like a very, very close relative, or a very, very close friend, that kind of thing. Whatever you need to say, now's the time to say it, and your mind won't be so cloudy once you get that off your chest, because they can also give you feedback too. So that's what's going on there. If you need the number for this card, it's 15, in case that means something to you. And then, oh, this is great. So the crystal card you got is Diamond. Value your self-worth. You are God's precious gift. Okay. I don't like to go into specific religions in these readings. So whether you're Christian, Wicca, Muslim, or whatever, it's the word that you use. I'll go ahead and say spirit. Your spirit's precious gem. Only you can do what you're put on this earth to do. Only you. Nobody else can, okay? Nobody else is you. Nobody else has your unique experiences, has your unique DNA, has your unique interests and disinterests and affinities and all of that good stuff, right? You are unique, just like every other person on the planet is as well, right? So value that. Value that you are worth so much, because there's only one of you, okay? You're rare. You are rare, and you are worth something, and just know that the world needs you to do your thing. Whatever it is, the world needs you to do your thing. And I just think that that's just a beautiful reading. And I mean, that kind of does go with the Tower energy of like, break down the barriers, be yourself, and value that. Because seriously, the more you value it, the more other people will, because they'll pick up on that confidence. So yeah, I mean, really, this is a pretty decent thing. It's the Tower card can be a little scary when you see it in a reading, but in this reading, I'm really not getting that it's as huge a deal as it can be. And again, if you're feeling a little confused, a little like cloudy headed, that kind of thing, talk to somebody about it. They can give you some feedback. And if you have something to say to somebody that you've been kind of holding off on, like, I don't know if I should say that or not, go ahead and say it. Now's the right time to do it this week. Well, do what you want. You have free will. But the cards are saying that, hey, it's okay to go ahead and communicate what you want to communicate. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's reading. I'm just really excited about my channel. I'm excited to bring you some new content. If you want to know what my new content is, you can go to my About Me on my channel and look at my schedule. So you'll be able to see all all the times that I'll be able to put up content on the channel. So that's great. That's good. Another thing, you know, if you found this resonating with you, you enjoyed it, anything like that, go ahead and hit like. You know, you might want to subscribe to me. I do more specific readings as well. And if you'd like to know, like, maybe a little bit more, or you have something on your heart or your mind that you'd like some guidance on, I do private readings, okay? And you can set up a private reading with me by emailing me, and that will be in the description box below. Alrighty? Thanks so much for joining me.